Hey everyone, welcome back to Today in Tarkov. We are down to about doing these once a week. There's just not enough news and things going on to make a full video about one or two things that happen. Plus we have a bunch of other projects we're working on, AK-74M build guide and some other gun build guides, crafting guide, looting guides, all sorts of stuff like that. So that kind of takes up more time. Enough stuff has happened over the last week that the clasps on this tit are about to burst. So I figured we'll relieve some pressure, get the news out there, and make sure nobody loses an eye. We'll even talk about some economic stuff and predictions at the end of the video. So if that's something you're interested in, hang out for that, and we'll get to that at the end. So first up, we got some titillating new pictures today about the AUG. So it looks like the AUG is coming in. I don't know about you guys, but the only thing I think about this when I see it is Carl. You know, that nice German fellow from that Christmas movie from back in the 90s, one of my favorites. Now, this is obviously going to be a Chad gun because when Carl used it, he point fired. He doesn't ADS, and we all know Carl's a Chad. On top of that, it doesn't look like there's going to be a ton of mods for it. I don't personally know a bunch about the AUG. I've never seen one in real life. I've never shot one. But based on what we can see from the picture, it looks like there's going to be an extended mag. You can get a suppressor. And then there's rails on top of the standard sights. So some attachments. So kind of maybe like the RFB. These are 5.56, so it'll fit into that caliber. And as far as when we're going to see it, no idea. This could mean that it's imminent. It could mean that it's a year from now. We've seen pictures of some guns for over a year before they ended up in the game. So we'll just have to wait and see when it shows up. But kind of cool new picture to see a new gun that we haven't talked about much recently. With this, we've also had some new items added to the ban list on the flea market. Some that aren't going to affect many people, others that are going to affect everybody. Thanks to Logical Solution and his changes and his tweets, of course, for this information. But the TAC X and the FMJ for 338 Lapua are no longer sellable on the flea market. So you have to buy those from traders, which they are available. And then the one that really sucks is SNB. It's needed though. Don't get me wrong, it sucks, but SNB shouldn't be on the flea if some of these other rounds aren't on the flea like M61. SNB has probably been one of the best rounds in the game for a very long time. And when you slap it in an SVD, it's probably one of the most devastating weapon systems you can have in the game, especially late game. It just doesn't care what armor you have. So SNB's got a limited stock from Proper. You can buy 30 from him every reset, and then you can craft 80 of it, but it takes about 10 hours. So you won't be seeing SNB quite as frequently out there. And if you find it in raid and you like to use it, it's worth quite a bit more than its money, obviously, because it's not worth anything anymore. Also from Logic, cases are banned from bags. Now this kind of spools up from Reddit. I guess there was a couple of backpacks you could stick some cases into and maybe sneak them into raid. Not sure what that was about, but no cases can go into backpacks, period, now, with the exception of an ammo case. Kind of a big surprise a couple of days ago was Nikita joined Twitter. Kind of shocking to me because Twitter is not known for being a positive place for your life, usually pretty toxic and shitty, though some of us have to be here because it's required. So don't be one of those guys. Try to use this as a positive. He seems to already be using it to engage with the community, which is fantastic. We've seen 2 changes in the last 2 days come out of this. Now, if you don't want to get on Twitter, you can come over to our Discord. We have channels that post up BSG and EFT's Twitters. So when they announce and make news, it shows up there. And we're going to add a channel for Nikita now. So when he posts, we can see what he talks about. Specifically like this question where he asked about how is your fence rep, right? He asked, how's your fence rep? And my buddy Bake Jake here apparently hates Santa Claus because holy shit, -24, Jake, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Seriously. You had to have hunted Santa. That's not accidental. You're going to get coal. But after that, he asked that, and he says, thinking about adding special quests to gain rep from fence for those who got fucked up by Dead Moros. So I'm drawn on this. I think if you should sleep the bed you made in, and if you fucking shot Santa a bunch, you should have negative rep. That's how it works. But there should be a way for when those couple accidental times that happened, you could earn that back, maybe get out of negative. We'll see how they implement it. My opinion means about as much as a empty coffee cup. So that's where I'll leave that opinion. And then before this, he actually asked about raiders, right? He said, what's up with raiders on reserve? We had tons of responses from people. If you've been hunting raiders, they're pretty hard to find. You'll notice that. And after he asked that, per Logic Solutions again in his Tarkov changes site, we see that they buffed raiders substantially, sometimes double for different places where they spawn. So you should be seeing raiders more common, especially in the basement. So be cautious of that when you're running around. So we'll talk a couple of quick little bug workarounds or fixes, however you want to talk about it, to help you guys out. If you're trying to do guns and you don't have them unlocked from the flea market, or they're banned from the flea market, I'm not sure exactly what causes it. I think it's banned from the flea market, and you don't have them unlocked yet to buy from a trader, you can't access them in your presets. So right here I have the MK18, the 338 Lapua. I can't build it. You see it's grayed out. I can't open it. If you go into your handbook and then go into presets there, it will let you access those. So we'll go into marksmanship rifles and then Sword International, and then it'll allow you to do the preset right here. So you click on the edit preset and then you can get into there. The workaround, it'll let you save it. You won't be able to open up your saves without going back through this process, but they'll be in here as well. But that's how you can modify guns that are blocked in your preset menu. And then we're still having back-end issues on the flea market. So if you're finding items, we'll go to bolts because there are usually tons of those that have lots of red and it's really blocking up your screen. Quick fix, just go up to your filters, click 1 in your quantity from instead of 0. Make sure you hit remember selected filters and it'll stay in there. And then all those reds go away. But keep in mind that if a trader sells out, it will black those out as well, because he has 0 now because he sold out. So it'll get rid of those until he restocks. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for trader stuff, it will disappear. It's not because they disappeared, it's because your filter has it set up that way. All right, so on to the economy stuff real quick, predictions and things. Sugar is on the climb. It has been pretty gradual for the last month, but we've really started to see it kick off, pushing that 30, 32, 33K sometimes even in the flea market for the high end. This tells me that if you're stocking up on sugar, we're getting closer and closer to the time where you can sell and cash in. Like me, for example, if we go look here, I've got 2 full cases full of fountain rate sugars, and we're working on a third, and my goal is like 50, 55, maybe 60K on sugar. Have to kind of wait and see, but it's getting there, which means if you have a chance to stock up on chocolate, I would do so, because then you can continue to craft these sugars and make money, because the sub 20 chocolates we're probably not going to see for a long time. With this, I think moonshine has finally reached its peak. If you have it, I would sell it now. Aside from some kind of crazy economic event that BSG will do that we can't predict, I don't think moonshine is going to get much more expensive than this. You might get lucky and get it into the the 300 to 310 range on a spike, but more and more people are going to start unlocking their water filter, their water collector, which is allow them to make purified water, so that'll get cheaper, and people are going to unlock moonshine and be able to craft more of this. So we'll see component prices come up and the price of moonshine go down. So for me, I've already sold all of mine that I had saved, and as I make it, I sell it, and that helps with flea market rating and helps me get euros. That's what I'm using to get euros right now, things like that. And this also applies to graphics cards for now. Bitcoins are volatile and they drive it. You usually see somewhere between 2 and 3 times the cost of Bitcoin in the last 4 wipes. That's right around where graphics cards go, somewhere between 2 and 3 times the price of a Bitcoin. So with Bitcoins being in the high 200s, pushing 300-ish right now, that's where we're going to see graphics cards. So if you have them and you have your Bitcoin farm totally full, they're worth selling. I don't farm graphics cards. It's not kind of the way I play. So I usually buy most of mine each wipe, and that's what I've been doing. We're pretty much at peak price, but I'm going to get them filled up, get my Bitcoin farm as full as I can, as fast as I can, because that's just kind of how that works. The sooner you get it, the better off you are. And then one last thing I want to mention is watch your flea market prices. There's a lot of people losing money with stuff. For example, the manual, let me clear this out here, the tech manual. This is probably doing okay, but back when people were selling them for like 300-400K, they were losing money. Didn't matter if you had Intel 3 or not. You're going to lose money listing them that high. This applies for like crackers. You're not necessarily losing money, but it's why I don't loot crackers to sell. I loot them to craft, because the flea market fee on crackers is really high. Same thing with like Amelia croutons, or anything that's got a durability. So like water or golden stars, or anything that you can sell on the flea market that has a durability. The lower that durability goes, the higher the flea market fee gets. So just be careful when you're selling stuff. Double check that. Make sure you're not losing money. But that pretty much wraps it up. That's the tit for today. I hope, probably this week actually, unless we get a bunch more news throughout the week. I hope it helped. I hope you guys got a bunch out of it. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Helps out the channel a bunch if you haven't already. If you have, I appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you in Tarkov.